Some of the city schools facing a last-minute funding cut. Education leaders blame the decrease on an unexpected increase in enrollment at elementary and secondary schools, and some education and state officials also blame it on something else. Here to explain is Jessica Williams with The Lens. Thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so this is your baby. You've been working on this, right?
Yeah.
Checking into this. So first of all, I mean, the first thing viewers will want to know, which schools are we talking about, which areas, who's going to be impacted?
We're talking about all schools. So the school board doles out tax dollars to every public school in the city, whether they be an RSD school, a school board school. The school board still has the responsibility of giving those schools local tax dollars. So it'll be everyone.
Okay, so the Orleans Parish School Board, okay, it's on one side of the picture here. They're used to getting a certain amount of money. What dollar amount were they used to getting, and how much less are they getting?
Sure. So every year the school board allocates schools money based off of a projected amount. Basically, like anytime you make a budget, you project that you'll spend and receive a certain amount per year, and then when you actually spend and receive that amount, it may come in a little bit less or a little bit more than you expected. And this year the projected amount was $41.10 per student, and what they actually got, or what they actually were able to give to schools, was $39.29. So it was a $181 decrease.
So if I've got a child going to one of the Orleans schools, what does this mean for the kids?
It pretty much depends on individual school student counts. So the student counts are calculated based off of last year's count. So if I have 1,000 more students attending my school this year than I did last year, then I might not feel it as much as if I had the same amount of students attending my school last year than I did this year, because you're getting an amount per student.
Right. So if you're hearing a couple of different reasons here. I mean, you've got the state superintendent saying we've got more students. Explain to me how that factors in here.
Yeah, so basically, if you have more students than you anticipated sharing the same pot of money, then the amount per student that you're able to dole out goes down. So that's pretty much what's happened there. And the disagreement comes in where the school board is claiming that it is due to the voucher program, which is the private school scholarship program that allows students to attend private school on the public's dime. And basically, the school board is saying that it's, because we got more voucher students, but the state superintendent is saying, no, it's because we got an increase in students all across the board. Voucher students, public school students, everyone. We had more students in general than we anticipated.
Right. And also the actual source of that money, for the funding source here, they're also saying that they're blaming part of less funding coming in on, tell me the connection with higher costs for state pensions.
Sure. So the state pension program basically has this huge debt that they're trying to pay off every year, and in order to pay off that debt, they tax the schools for it. And so just in the last couple of years, you've seen the amount that schools have to pay into pensions drastically increase. And so the same situation happened with the school board this time around. I mean, they thought that they were going to have to pay about $1.7 million less than they actually had to pay, so they had to come up with $1.7 million pretty much, and that also had an impact in how much they were able to give per student. So that's a main reason for the decrease, in addition to more students than anticipated.
Right, and to me it doesn't seem like a positive scenario moving forward, because across the country you're having issues with the high cost of pensions. So what does that mean for future funding for students if they're saying part of the reason that it's really hurting our bottom line is all the money we're paying for pensions?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that I've been following, that I'm going to continue to follow. Charter schools have, I guess, sort of an out in that they can choose not to buy into the pension system. School boards, traditional school boards, unfortunately don't have that option. They have to pay into the pension system by state law, no matter how much it costs. And, maybe that's something we'll be seeing, as a change in state law as time goes on. Maybe that's something that they'll write into the next legislative session.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you want your kids to have the best education they can get, right? Thank you so much, Jessica, and keep us up to date on this one.
Thank you for having me.